Hello, welcome back to the sideboard at Grand Prix Orlando. I'm Nick Miller alongside Braun-Duin. How you doing?
Good.
You are our last of the 5 clan reviews for the draft archetypes.
Am I the last or the outlast?
You will be outlasting them all.
Yeah.
Because you are Abzan.
Yeah. Yes,
Now,
I am.
You are a fond proponent of the junk archetype or the Abzan archetype.
Correct.
Have you drafted it much?
It is, in fact, the only archetype I've drafted so far, so yeah.
You are the guy to talk to then.
Yeah.
All right, so starting off, we want to know, how do you feel the clan mechanic is in draft? So how do you see Outlast ranking amongst the other archetypes and the other clan abilities?
So it's definitely worse in draft than it is in sealed, because sealed's a lot slower. But I still think it's very good in draft because a lot of times you can, it's just a great mana sink later in the game. So a lot of the Outlast guys are reasonable creatures by themselves, but when you get to Outlast with them as the game goes on, you just gain so much value over and over again.
What would you say the best 3 commons are for the Abzan tribe?
Well, I think debilitating injury might just be the best common, period.
Right. A lot of people have just been saying that in Black X decks.
Yeah,
so.
And I think Braun-Duin is probably up there too. I think he's one of the 5 best commons. The 2/1 can
first strike.
Yeah, first strike guy, just very, very strong. And for my third, I'm going to go with Abzan Guide. Actually, big lifelink creature is actually really good in this archetype, especially if you can put counters on it. Honorable mention to Feat of Resistance and Dragon Scale Boon, because they let you put counters on things that aren't Outlast creatures, which lets you get the abilities from the Outlast creatures.
Very powerful when you have a combo of any number of those guys, whether it be the Falconer for flying, the Merrick Nightblade for death touch, you name it.
Trample, first strike, etc.
Yeah, they get them all.
Yeah.
So very powerful. What would you say the best Abzan deck looks like? If all the pieces come together, what do you got flowing there?
Okay, so I think the best Abzan deck, you're gonna have about 5 1 and 2 drops between the 0/4 Outlast guy,
Disowned Ancestor.
Yeah, Anak Bondkins, maybe some Chief of the Scales or Chief of the Edge.
Right.
Just a couple of just strong early creatures like that. You don't want some morphs, probably some Abzan guides or things like that in the 3-drop slot. Any of the uncommon Outlast guys are fantastic. There's the flying one and the trample one are both 3 mana. And then you want a couple of bigger creatures like armament cores, things like that to kind of round out the top end. And then for spells, I want debilitating injuries, Rite of the Serpent, just things that kill creatures. So you want I like cheap Outlast guys, things that kill creatures. This is basically the name of the game. Couple of big guys too.
And then you outlast them.
And then you literally outlast them. Yeah.
And as the archetype as a whole, where would you rate Abzan? If you're going into a draft tomorrow, are you going to try to would you try to force it? Is it that good, or is it something where does it rank in terms of the 5 clans?
I'm not going to force it, but I think it's one of the top 2 clans. I think that Jeskai is also very good. I haven't had the pleasure of drafting it yet, but just on principle alone, I think that the cards there are just very strong. And I think those are the 2 best guilds. I'm not sure which of the 2 of those is the best.
Okay. What do you like? What do you not want to see when you're playing the Abzan deck? What matches up poorly?
I think a lot of hyper aggression coupled with removal or bounce spells, things that tempo you out, because you want to tap your guys for value to outlast, and if you have to play defense, you don't really get a chance to do that. So those are kinds of decks that I'm really not looking to see.
Okay. All right, well, we would like to see you outlast some players tomorrow. You will be drafting X and 2.
Yep.
So Sunday when you probably see this, but excellent. See you tomorrow. Thank you for sitting down with me here in the sideboard. Stay tuned all weekend long for more coverage here at GP Orlando.